I work from home. Most days, I don't leave my apartment until after dark. It's not because I'm antisocial or scared of people. I just like it better when the city's quiet. No honking. No street vendors shouting at each other. No strangers brushing past with coffee and earbuds pretending I don't exist. At night, the sidewalks feel like they belong to me. My best friend Chris used to run with me. We'd hit the streets around 9, talk about everything and nothing, and end up getting tacos before heading home. A month ago, he moved out of state for work. Now he calls sometimes, usually late, checking in to see if I've been keeping up with our old route. I'm always glad to hear his voice, and I tell him yeah, even when I haven't. That night I'd actually been good. It was cold enough to make my breath fog, but warm enough that the air didn't sting my lungs. Perfect running weather. I was halfway through mile 2 when I passed an alley I'd jogged by 100 times. I don't know why I looked. Maybe a flicker of movement caught my eye. But when I turned my head, I saw someone standing deep in the shadows. They weren't leaning against the wall or shifting their weight, or doing anything you'd expect from someone hanging out in a dark alley. They were just still. Tall. Too tall. Even from a distance, their arms looked wrong, hanging lower than they should, almost brushing the ground. A flicker of unease passed through me, but I kept going. The mind plays tricks at night. The next night, I caught sight of it again. This time, it wasn't tucked away in an alley. It was on the edge of a rooftop, leaning forward just enough that its head jutted out past the building's shadow. I slowed to a jog, then to a walk. The sound of my own footsteps echoed between the buildings. Then I realized there was another sound. A faint scrape like fingernails dragging along concrete. I stopped. The sound stopped. The street was empty. The rooftop was bare, but I could still feel it watching me. I picked up my pace, heading for home. The day after, I decided to stick to busier streets. Halfway through my run, I spotted a tall shape in my peripheral vision, only to turn and see a lamppost leaning at a strange angle. My laugh came out shaky, too loud for the empty street. I tried to ride the wave of relief, but it didn't last long. My shadow stretched unnaturally behind me when I passed under the next streetlight, as if someone taller was walking right beside me. That night I called Chris. I told him I thought someone might be following me. He got quiet for a second before telling me I should go to the cops, or at least run during the day. I didn't want to admit how little I liked the idea of going out at all. I couldn't stop thinking about it. After a shower and a half-hearted attempt to answer emails, I found myself sitting in front of my laptop, typing "tall gray man city sighting" into the search bar. Most results were useless, but buried deep in an old forum, I found scattered posts going back years. Followed me home from the train stop. Scraping sound outside my bedroom window. No photos, no concrete details. Every thread ended abruptly. One post had a blurry screenshot of what looked like an old missing persons report. The date was faded, but I recognized the street name immediately. It was 2 blocks from my apartment. I decided to call the non-emergency line. My voice felt strange in my throat as I explained that someone had been following me on multiple nights. The operator asked if I had proof. I didn't. Her tone shifted, polite, but dismissive. She suggested I run during the day, stay in well-lit areas, said if I felt unsafe, I could always take a break from running for a while. By the time I hung up, I felt smaller somehow, like my words had evaporated before they even reached her, like I was already on my own. The following evening, I stayed home. I told myself I was being smart, but around 10 p.m.,
I heard something faint outside. A slow scrape that rose and fell like breathing. When I peeked through the blinds, the street was empty. But a trash bin had been dragged into the middle of the road.
I didn't sleep well.
That night I went back to the forum, made an account, posted my own thread. Anyone else seen a tall gray guy following people at night? Thought it was just me until I heard that scraping sound.
It didn't take long for a reply to pop up. Luna Huntress. Is this a real story? Luna Huntress. Do you feel like you're in danger? I hesitated, then typed back that yes, it was real, and yes, I thought I was in danger. Luna Huntress. You will regret it if you lie to me. I typed back that I wasn't lying and asked if they knew anything about what I'd seen. Luna Huntress. Give me the neighborhood you live in, and I'll look into it. I hesitated, but typed it out anyway. My fingers stiff on the keys. 2 nights later, I saw it again. Not from a distance this time. I was cutting across a side street when I spotted it standing under a flickering street lamp, motionless, facing my direction. The scraping was louder now, like it had followed me across the pavement. I broke into a run.
The sound followed. Louder. Closer. My lungs burned as I cut through alleyways, my shoes pounding against the wet pavement. Every corner I took, I expected to lose it, but each turn only made it clearer. It was keeping pace. A shadow stretched along the wall ahead of me. Impossibly long, bending wrong at the joints. My breath came in ragged gasps as my legs screamed to keep moving. I risked a glance back. Its silhouette was there, gliding more than running, the scraping sound rising into a metallic shriek. I tore through a narrow alley, leaping over a trash bin, nearly slipping on slick pavement. My vision tunneled, the pounding in my head syncing with the pounding of my feet. I cut across the street without looking, hearing car horns blare somewhere distant. But the sound was swallowed by that terrible scrape. I hit my street. Relief almost slowed me down until I saw movement reflected in my window. I tore my key from my pocket, jamming it into the lock with shaking hands. The scraping was right behind me now, metal against stone, like claws eager to strike. I slammed the door shut just as something heavy brushed against it from the other side. My whole body trembled, adrenaline still surging. I stood frozen, straining to hear. The scraping moved along the wall outside, slow and deliberate, pausing at the edges as if feeling for a weakness. A faint thud came from the fire escape, then the creak of metal shifting under weight. Whatever it was searching for a way in, testing every possible entry point. Then, silence, long enough to make me think it might be gone. A sudden, sharp rattle shook the doorknob before it stopped altogether. The scraping faded into the distance, each step echoing away until the night swallowed it. The next morning, there were long scuff marks along the wall near my apartment door. 2 nights after that, deep scratches appeared on my bedroom window, high enough that no person could have made them without a ladder. I checked the forum thread again. Another reply from Luna Huntress waited for me. Don't run tomorrow, stay home. If it comes inside, I'll handle it. By now, fear had chewed through every scrap of skepticism I had left. I didn't care if it sounded insane. If someone was offering help, I'd take it. I typed back a shaky confirmation that I'd stay in, and asked what she planned to do if it showed up. There was no reply. Still, I kept the curtains drawn and double-checked the locks, willing myself to believe she could actually stop it. The next night, I was in my kitchen making tea when I heard it. The scraping sound. Only this time, it wasn't muffled by walls or distance.
It was coming from inside.
The lights flickered. My breath caught. From the corner of my living room, the gray man unfolded itself from the shadows, impossibly tall, its blank head tilting toward me.
It took a step. I could see it more clearly now. Its skin was the color of wet ash, stretched too tightly over a frame that was both skeletal and impossibly tall. Its head was featureless, except for shallow impressions where eyes should have been, and its arms dangled in grotesque arcs, ending in long, hooked fingers that scraped the floor with each slow shift. I backed up, heart pounding, until my shoulders hit the cabinets.
It was only a few feet away when it stopped mid-step, frozen in place like someone had pressed pause on a nightmare.
That's when I noticed the mirror. It was an old, full-length one leaning against the wall near the kitchen doorway. For a moment, the glass shimmered, like heat rising from asphalt. Then the surface rippled. A pale hand emerged, followed by the rest of her. A girl, maybe 12, stepping through the mirror as if it were a doorway. She held a small, white stuffed animal by one ear, her expression flat, almost bored.
"Found you," she said softly.
The gray man twitched, a low hiss rising from nowhere, but it didn't move. The girl tilted her head, studying it like a bug pinned under glass. She lifted her free hand slowly, fingers curling as if she were gripping something invisible. The gray man rose into the air, limbs extended unnaturally, as if being pulled from all directions. One by one, its long claws tore free from its fingers, each spinning in the air before bursting into small, flickering flames. The burning claws began to orbit the gray man like moons around a dying planet. Her face didn't change. "You've been busy," she said in a tone that was almost conversational.
Before she spoke again, the fiery claws shot forward, piercing into the gray man's body in rapid succession. It let out a deep, inhuman cry that rattled through my chest, its limbs jerking as the flame sank in. Then, she held up the stuffed animal, its button eyes staring blankly. "Serve or die." The gray man hesitated, as if weighing its options. A low, guttural roar built in its chest and tore free, rattling the air before it slowly bowed its head in something that looked like submission. The gray man's form shuddered, then broke apart into streams of black vapor, each tendril flowing into the toy's stitched mouth and eyes. When it was done, the stuffed animal's stitched smile seemed just a little wider. She looked at it for a moment, almost like she was admiring a new pet. Then she turned her eyes to me, cold and unreadable. "If you need help again, you know where to find me." Without another word, she walked out into the night, the stuffed animal dangling from her hand, and in that moment, a jumble of relief and confusion hit me hard. She'd saved me. But the way she looked at that stuffed animal made my skin crawl. Was she protecting people? Or just collecting monsters for herself? I couldn't tell. And that uncertainty was almost as unsettling as the creature itself. I haven't been on a run since that night. I tell Chris I'm just busy with work, but the truth is I don't go out after dark anymore. Not with the memory of that blank face burned into my mind and the sound of that scraping still echoing in my ears. Somewhere out there, that girl is still walking the streets, looking for her next pet. And I can't decide which scares me more. The thing she's hunting, or her.